So it's day 3 of the patch and I gotta say I'm loving every single minute of it. Characters that I like and can never commit to are buffed, characters that have suffered for so long are now churning out tons of damage, and I haven't seen Quantum Glitch at all since the patch, so I feel like everyone can be free to play Eric again. So firstly, we have huge sweeping changes to gravity and collision boxes, which make combos more universal across the board and a lot more consistent. This has also opened up some new combo options for some characters, such as Cat, for example, can now do 6S in the corner against any character and not just the non-lightweight characters. Secondly, we've got the camera changes, which help keep the characters on the screen during the match. This is especially noticeable when you do wall bounces, as the camera actually follow the character to the wall and back, as opposed to having the character fall off the screen slightly. Now some players are struggling to adjust to this, but I've found for myself that it hasn't taken that long, and I believe, much like the throw change that happened with the camera zooming in on the throw, we should be fine. And that's really it for system changes. Next we're going to move on to Mega Zords. Firstly and most importantly, damage for Zords has been reduced across the board, as Zords now scale properly with combos. No longer are you going to get hit by a Zord and watch your character get deleted, as characters are now going to have to do full combos in order to kill a character. To get specific about the Zords, first we got Dino Megazord. Now the H, which is the giant sword that comes down, has a significantly increased startup time. So for those who are using that in your combos, much like I was with Lauren, check to make sure that the combo still works if you're going to do it in this patch. Secondly, we've got Samurai Megazord. Now, the most important part of this is that Samzord's Zord counter now actually reaches the length of the screen. Now you're not going to find that when you use your Zord counter, it's not going to whiff because they're more than 1 foot away from you. The light attack, as we like to call Skittles, has had its damage increase slightly per hit. This is an interesting change because with the overall Zord damage nerf, I would say it didn't mean too much, but given that you don't tend to use Skittles in a combo, but you instead to use it to win neutral and mix your opponent, I think this is okay. And lastly, the heavy attack. The damage has been increased and it now OTGs on the first hit. It also reaches the length of the screen, and this is super important because it's become quite apparent that Zords OTG. I think all of the Zords do it, and Samzord really struggled with it, so it's great to see that Samzord is now more in line with the rest of the Zords. Next, Grave Zord. The startup for the medium, which is the claws that dig into the floor, has been reduced, and the hit stun on the first hit has been increased, and this means that when the first hit hits a grounded opponent, it doesn't drop the combo and then they can block the follow-up hits. Now, if they've been hit by the first hit, the rest of the hits follow through. I've been playing with this since the patch, and it's already very noticeable how many more conversions I've been able to make with M because of this change. The second one is the heavy attack. The startup has been reduced and the time between each hit has been reduced, and this is sick because when you hit someone with it mid-screen, all 3 hits hit them and they bounce off the walls on each hit, and it just looks absolutely nuts. Although in the corner I believe it behaves the same as it did the last patch in that the first hit would hit and then the follow-ups wouldn't work. Now lastly, the most important specific Zord change is SPD M debuff no longer transfers between characters when they die or get snapped out. While this means we'll see an end to super cuffs into meaty hit on incoming, we will still see the meaty setups with SPDM, but I do wonder how this is going to play out as the patch progresses. Overall, I'm really happy with this. The camera changes have shown that they're continuing to try and make the game look more appealing. Hopefully this is a sign that there's more things to come from the game. The changes to the gravity and hitboxes, it just makes the game feel a little bit more consistent. It's a shame that long-time players have had to adjust and relearn some of their combos, but I feel in the long run the players are going to be very happy with this change. And as for the Zord changes, I think this is what everybody was after. I think everybody just wanted to see Zords have less of a dominating effect in the game, and I don't think anybody really enjoyed having a single hit lead into a high damage Zord combo into the Zord also being part of an incoming mix setup. Although I do feel we haven't reached the end of our Zord woes, as we still have the incoming unblockables which players are now labbing out, such as myself. Expect to see more of these videos in the near future.